Hello guys, do you remember that I've quickly reviewed a Livewire CMS, simple CMS, with creating the page with this model? If you haven't watched that video, I will link that in the description below. It was pretty recent, but today I want to review the generator of that Livewire CRUD, which is inside of the same GitHub repository, and you can see all that repository for free. I will also link that in the description below. So to generate something like this, there's an artisan command inside of that repository. CRUD Livewire command. And let's take a look how it works, and maybe I will have some suggestions what to improve in that as an artisan command. So if we launch make Livewire CRUD in our terminal, so PHP artisan make Livewire CRUD, what are the parameters? Class name and model name. And that's my first criticism. What would be the values? Class name should be only the class or the full path, and model name, should it be like app model something? So it should be somewhere in the comments here, for example, or maybe in the validation, not sure. But for example, if I specify the class name of, for example, team, if I want to manage the teams, and then model name the team, which already exists from JetStream, by the way, so I do team, should it be the same or different? I launch that, and it generates two files. So app HTTP Livewire team is a Livewire component, and you get some variables here. Load model team find, model data is empty. So it works according to the logic of the CMS by this author. Again, watch the previous video how it works. So it opens the model for the teams, and you can create the team there. You need to specify the fields. But generally it generates create, update, delete with models, with render, and this read, for example, gets the 5 teams from the database. Pagination is 5 by default. It kind of works fine. But then the first thing that I notice, underlying the class name by PHP Storm, another definition with the same name exists in this file. So team is a class name, and team is also a model, which actually is never used. Or is it used? So that team, does it refer to the class itself or to the model? So to avoid that, then I realized that looking at all the other components like pages and users, I should have run make Livewire CRUD teams and then team. And then if I have the teams, I don't have that underlined anymore because component has different name, and this now means the model. Okay, let's get back to the artisan command, what I would do differently. So class name question mark means that it's an optional parameter, right? But when we look inside in the construct and in the handle, get parameters is a private name, which is fine. It's kind of cool to divide the artisan command into private methods. You have argument, and if it's not set, then we ask enter class name. So why would you do that as optional parameter as an argument if you still ask for that? I would probably do that directly with something like PHP artisan class, like this, class teams, model team, something like that. Then it's clear. That's just my opinion. There are multiple ways to do that, but this looks more clear to me for usage in the future by other developers. And then the result of all of that, we transform the class name and model name to the names that we can actually use. So that's the first part, get parameters. Then generate Livewire class. And this is interesting. It generates the class from the stub. Stub is a general name for kind of like a template which would be replaced with variables. And if we take a look at crud.stub in this repository, this is the prepared template for that component with these brackets to be replaced with real values. So the brackets here for the model name, for example, for model name again, class name is also here. So basically you replace two things mostly, class name and model name. And how is it replaced? It's just searching for this and replacing one by one with model name, class name, and something like this. This is probably for the view of Livewire. And I don't like this structure because what if I want to change something in the future, and in the stub I would add something here, for example some default validation rules, and I would need to return something here. How do I know which variables to replace then here. Should it be the fourth or the third or which one? It's confusing. Without real name of the variable, it is really confusing. So for example, I would have validation rule and then would specifically replace with validation rules that I want to be used. So in most cases, I would use model name, for example, here, and then replace model name with specific model name. And that is actually how it is done in the Laravel itself. So if you take a look at Laravel framework, there are stubs, and one of the stub, for example, is model. So we have namespace and we have class. Other stubs, for example, for mail, right? So we have namespace, class, and no more variables. But anyway, all those replacements have names. And that is what I don't really like in this package, in this generator, because it works for now, but it's not really flexible. I would do it with specific variables to replace. And then everything else, file get, file put. I like this approach of having this file, so there's no need to call storage or something like that directly here. Livewire view is another stub. There's a typo in destination, but that's a small thing. And if we take a look at Livewire view stub, it's just an empty stub, so it doesn't really even contain any variable. So that's an easy one. But anyway, it's a good approach and attempt to generate the CRUDs according to your logic, but it's not flexible enough, I think, for the future. It depends, of course, of what the author will do with that repository in the future. Will he reuse it for his own Livewire projects, and then he would probably expand on that and maybe even release that as a package. You can follow his journey in this repository directly, also raise issues or pull requests to discuss with the author. And if you want to generate Livewire CRUDs without that artisan command, you can use as one of the options our quick admin panel. So when you try for free you can try it out and see the code, but you won't be able to download the code. Download is only after you pick your pricing plan. But generally one of the versions is Livewire, which uses Tailwind theme, and it would generate Livewire CRUD for you as well. So check out quickadminpanel.com. And by purchasing that, you're supporting this YouTube channel, because then I have more time to shoot free videos and I don't have to spend time marketing Quick Admin Panel and writing blog articles for that specifically. That's it for now, and see you guys in other videos.